Good morning, everybody. It is time to discover crypto. It is Friday. October 6th. It is 11:31 a.m., 10:31. We're talking about the Nova Scotia time. I believe that's the furthest east island in Canada, folks. That was for you, all 7 viewers from that cold island. Good morning and happy Friday, says Grand Roofing. Shout out to Grand Roofing. Grand Roofing, let us know your town. We want to give you a shout out, and then maybe you can put some solar power arrays and panels on roofs and then mine Bitcoin against their will. I'm just kidding. We don't want that, of course. Piper or Sawtooth. We're all having a good time, folks. We're going to talk about SEC. The SEC coming after XRP. Are they putting in the towel? Maybe. Also, SEC going after Elon Musk. What's going on with them after that? Jobs report are in. Also, SBF stuff. And Thor. We got some Thor news. Now, yes. Drew, you're big on the THORChain. What are your thoughts on that, just before we get into it?
Totally, yeah. I warned about it yesterday, remember. There's been a lot of funds that have been known to be part of hacks and exploits that have been moved through Thor. I was worried about a shutdown, and it looks like THORChain saw that potential, and they're doing some maintenance to make sure they stay in compliance.
23 hours, 50 minutes ago, literally, we're saying, watch out, guys. The intelligence agencies are not going to like this. As it gets bigger, they're going to come after it. Within the next day, folks, we're always ahead of the curve. That's why we starting early. That's why we getting this content out early. Yeah. I'm gonna put out a short on the SEC and Elon Musk. That should be pretty good as well. Well, the hit merch, I still got it. I still got the hat. I got the hoodie over there. I took the hoodie off because I got the nice button up on today. Why do I keep dropping things? The hat, the pumpkin doesn't. Can we zoom out? I don't want to stay on there.
I tried this morning. It's not happening.
All right, there we go.
It just needs a smaller one.
It's a weird black pumpkin, anyways. I mean, what are these? Yeah. Can you eat this?
Let's well, that cost $7, and you just ruined it.
That wasn't edible. All right, let's get
Gonna have some
okay,
buzz.
now we have spit on the floor. Good start to the show. Good start to the show, everybody. By the way, I'm Tim. You didn't introduce me, so good start.
Good morning, Tim.
Yeah, thank you, Drew.
Look, I had to take a bite out of the topics today. I had to take a bite out of this pumpkin.
Yes.
All right, let's get Tim. How are you doing today? I didn't mean to overlook you like the hotel Johnny's from. Johnny's out today, but how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Hopefully, my voice is not echoing like a maniac as it was yesterday. Hopefully, the TA is a little clearer, and you only get to hear it once. Sometimes you like to hear it twice, but maybe not that close together. Yeah. But I'm doing good, DZ. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. THORChain is an OG crypto. Wasn't Silk Road built on it? I'd have to look at maybe the underlying code. Maybe it was. I'd have to look at it. That's a good point there. Let's look into that. Drew mentioned the show Dig In or Bug Out. I think that's what it was called. Is that the channel? No, that is on base. You want to explain that, Drew?
Yeah, it's Buy In or Bug Out. It's on the blockchain basement. We air those every Thursday. Just riffing on hypothetical situation scenarios, kind of what your knee-jerk reaction would be to EMPs, aliens showing up, maybe Kamala as your president. Figure it out.
Give us some fun scenarios that you would like to game out. You wake up, think of like a Walking Dead situation, just a random scary scenario. Asteroid hurtling towards Earth. Maybe that's one. I don't think we've done asteroid yet. So asteroids coming, 24 hours left to live. Can we do that? I think that's a good one.
That's a pretty fun one.
That's a good one. I like that one. So maybe that'll be one. Throw out some other suggestions you would like to see. Just crazy scenario. Game it out. What do you want? Look, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Drew's an expert at this stuff. What do you like the experts and maybe a novice just have some fun ideas and bounce off each other?
There's no expert in being prepped. You can only try your hardest and then, sleep well at night knowing you did your damnedest.
Tim, you're an Eagle Scout, right?
I was never an Eagle Scout. My brother was. I got to a life. Life. I think.
Okay, the Eddie Murphy movie. So is that like, was that a badge? You get the life badge?
It was like, it was like the thing right before Eagle.
And no one better touch Bernie Mac's, God, was it biscuit? I can't remember. Cornbread. Don't touch Bernie Mac's cornbread. All right, let's see here. Let's get into the crypto market cap, folks. All right, let's get into the show, folks. What are the coins doing? What's Bitcoin doing? That's what I want to know. Well, Bitcoin's heading down, folks. It is down 1.3% to the downside. Ethereum is down 0.7%. BNB down 0.7%. XRP down 1%. The entire market cap is down 0.8%. 8% would be a little scary. The entire market cap down 0.8%. 24-hour volume 38 billion. Gas, I think it was Steve-O shouting it out. Gas was as low as 8 gwei about 3 hours ago. Now coming in at 14 gwei. We keep looking. Solana down 1.6%, but Cardano relatively holding strong here. Now, Solana has definitely a better weak pump here. It's 4% to the 14%, but looking pretty good. Cardano for the daily there. Dogecoin also showing some strength. It is only down 0.3%, but Toncoin moving on up. It is up 3%. Litecoin also moving up. Shout out to Tom Crown. How is Tom? Anyone reach? I need to reach out to Tom, see how Tom's doing. He hasn't been on in a while. Avalanche is up 6.2%. So Avalanche looking good. Might even see it in the top gainers. I think we will.
Yeah, I'm gonna put an early bet that is gonna be at least in the top 3.
Bernie Mac taught Crimson Caravan what a certain thing was. How did he teach? I don't. You know what? Don't even tell me. I don't even want to know. Bernie Mac had a great family show. Did you ever watch that show, Tim?
No.
I would recommend going back and maybe if you ever want to do a rewatch. That was a pretty good one. The Bernie Mac show, I think it was called.
I watched a lot of My Wife and Kids.
Okay.
That was a good one.
Okay. I would say anything Bernie Mac's in, he is the funniest part by far. Even if he has like a 30-second segment. All right, let's look into the biggest gainers. All right, we got a newer coin coming into the ranks here. It's called Tokenized Exchange, TKX, ranked number 81. I don't think it was in theirs recently. It's like 2 weeks ago. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think it was in there, folks.
Nope.
So yeah, this is going to be a newer coin, a newer entrant into the region here, into the to the realm of the top 100 gamers. Then number 2 is Avalanche. So the AVAX fans are feeling good. EOS junkies do rule. You got it right. Toncoin fans also feeling good. They're up 3%. GMX, then Mina Protocol. All right, it was one of the biggest losers. Now coming in as a big gainer here. Render also moving up. Leo up. Uniswap up. Injective up. Axie Infinity and Quant. Tim, do you own any Quant?
No, it's one that's going to make its way into my portfolio, though. Just to me, it's not time to start diving into all those coins. Just
quantitatively speaking, that is.
Yeah, I want to own it, though.
Tom's feeling better. Okay, he was all right. Good. Yeah, I know he had a little health thing. Wayne Brothers underrated show. Okay, yeah.
The Wayne Brothers are funny.
Yeah. I still want to know what's your crazy scenarios, folks. So let us know. Give us some good suggestions on that one as well. We'll have some fun with it. All right, now let's look at the biggest losers. Biggest loser right now, it's Loki's brother. It's Thor. Thor is down. The Rune is down. Rune is down 10% even here. Erased all the gains for the week. It was up 1.5%. Now it is down 8.5%. Rollbit, also down a bit. Wouldn't be a complete list without some of DZ's coins in there. Rollbit down 8.7, but that's just mostly peeling off healthy gains for the week. It was up 20%. Bitcoin SV, BSV is down 4.3. Radix is down. Phantom, Galatron. Then another DZ coin. We got ApeCoin down 2.9%. I need to restake that. Oh, man, down to $1. That is looking rough. Stacks also down a bit. It is down 2.7%, but still up for the week. Mantle up, or I'm sorry, Mantle down, Chili's down, Tezos down, Immutable X down. Tim, any of these you see on sale? Maybe thinking about getting me. I like Rune, but I agree with Drew's thesis, and it seems like a healthy thesis. They're gonna come after it.
Yeah, but it's one that right now, if you go to the chart, Drew, it's a good price on the chart. There's a lot of things coming in. It's technically dropping a little below this line, but I'm on the hourly chart here. We got an oversold flash coming in here with the green triangle. Our MVP oscillator, which these green histograms are just screaming to buy. We're overextended on everything. And you're seeing, again, we're wrestling with this blue line, but this could just be a wick. If people start buying it back up, we could find a third bounce of support here on a rising level of support. We're in a bull trend right now. Higher highs, higher lows on Rune. So it is a little risky. I'm not saying it's not a risk, but I am saying I'm seeing hourly chart kind of screaming a little overextended to the downside on Rune.
Okay, all right. Great breakdown. Can you show that line one more time? It is right at that line, right?
It's a little bit below it, but wicks, that happens all the time. What matters is where we close.
Yep.
And let's see how that happens.
Yeah. All right. Great chart there. Great work there, Tim. All right. Before we get into the SEC tap out, cloud of dust covering the earth where you only can survive by lab-grown foods. Okay, so cloud of dust covering the earth. What do you think last moment to buy in before prices go up? That's going to be, no, if anyone could predict that, EOS, they would be a trillionaire. That being said, my educated guess would be, as we get closer to the halving, I expect some fake outs and shakeouts. So it may look like you won't have any other chance, but I think there'll be one more opportunity after the halving. Might be slightly higher than it is today, might be slightly lower. I think there might be one more opportunity in the next 7 months. Why not have a segment called DZ's Coins? Maybe. That could be a point there. Why
We
is
have a
Litecoin-
video. There's a video coming out on Sunday that's a little bit of DZ's coins.
Oh, me and Rodney's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me and Rodney got a really good video where if I had $1 million, what would I do?
Mhm.
Drew, how was that? Did I hit the notes there?
Yeah, and I kept it
I
going
don't
in
think
the
that those
background.
notes register.
Oh,
on a-
that was perfect, baby. That was perfect. Matt Maloney sure thinks so.
Hmm.
SEC is retreating like DZ's. Never mind. I wonder what you meant there.
Looking slick.
My wife and kids and Lopez show still get me laughing today. My only thing about the Lopez show is fine. You know, one, it's woke up all the kids. You know, you hear that music in the 3 a.m. It's George
true.
Lopez's eye expressions. You know, he does a joke, then he goes, like after every little joke.
That's true.
It's not necessary, George. All right. C90. Did you guys hear about the CO2 emission that is much, much worse than humans? And it's also equal to volcanoes.
No.
There's something that is emitting CO2 that is equal to volcanoes that was just discovered. It was not in any climate model. It's never been in any climate model. It's just discovered. They're going to have to go back. Basically, every climate model is now bunk because this has not been explored. Do you guys know what it was?
No.
Rocks.
What?
Rocks.
Frickin'
Apparently,
rocks.
there's so much rock cover on the globe, as rain hits it, there's a slight amount of erosion, and that erosion creates CO2 emissions.
So we're canceling rocks now.
Yeah, we have to cancel rocks.
Or we
Yeah.
could just tax
What about
them.
Dwayne the
we
Rock
tax,
Johnson?
We tax rocks. We tax Dwayne.
Yeah.
No more Fast and Furious movies,
Listen,
Dwayne.
XFL
Sorry.
is done. You're gonna have to pay it all to the government now.
Yeah,
Dwayne.
so interesting. I thought that was interesting there.
Yeah.
So yeah, just be careful with the climate models, folks. All right, let's talk about the SEC though. SEC tapping out, folks. It is tapping out. Explosive baits. Oh man, we just getting started. KO Kev. Look, we're not talking about DZ's methane, okay, and what
That's
that might
came
be doing.
to my mind. Yeah, I gotta admit.
All right. Whoa, we zoomed in there.
I did. It was a little small in the print.
Okay.
yeah.
See, do you two have boomer eyes?
No, it was just small. I could read it. It was just a small.
What if a rock is a member of my family? Emotional support rock. Okay, yeah, there you go. Pet
Yeah.
rocks. You know, people have pet rocks. Like
Yeah, you're
literally,
gonna have
pets are members of the family.
You're gonna cancel if you adopted a pet rock. So,
Yeah, you're on a list now. You're basically on a list. You have to register.
or I guess maybe if it's the rain hitting it, just keep your pets inside, and then they don't get rained on. They don't don't give them a bath either.
Yeah.
So-
All right. If we pay more corporate tax, yeah, we need a rock tax. No more rock music. Guys, we could go all day, but it's time for us to talk about the SEC. SEC will drop all charges against Ripple. According to Yassine Mobarak, he's a founder of a crypto VC firm, and he suggests they might withdraw their case to avoid negative exposure. He believes they use litigation to maintain uncertainty in the crypto space. Of course, the case started in December 2020. He's the founder of a private equity firm focused on startups as Dizer Capital, and believes the SEC could withdraw all accusations against Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse. According to him, it is not in their interest to have a trial where their corruption can be exposed. Further claimed that XRP has solidified clarity in the crypto market, which puts their agenda at risk. They will now move to end this case soon as possible so they can appeal to the second circuit and continue to sustain this cloud of uncertainty on the whole industry. Litigation by itself, regardless of the outcome, is the weapon. So litigation is the weapon. They need to move this to the second circuit here. The legal battle passed through multiple heated moments afterward. It peaked in July this year. Back then, court ruled that most of the sales did not constitute an offer of investment contracts. They were unpleased with the decision and formally appealed it last month. However, Torres recently dismissed the request, granting them another landmark victory. Let's look at XRP's price. I want to see the 90-day chart because, guys, this wasn't that long ago, but it feels like it was yesterday, right? This happened. Okay, a month, maybe 2 months, right? Guys, we're almost at 90 days. Look at this chart.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're almost. It's going to be no longer on this chart. Then we have to go to 180 days. So we're almost at the 3-month mark. Does it feel like 3 months ago?
No.
It
How
feels
long
like
ago
it was
does it feel?
yesterday.
All right, so technically it was on the 13th. We got the pump.
Yep.
Today's what, the 6th, right? Yeah, today's
Yep.
the 6th. So we're essentially a week away. We're a week away from that. So
Wow.
yeah, a week away from 3 months, folks. It doesn't feel like 3 months to me. Oh, how the time flies.
Yeah.
When things are somewhat exciting. Been exciting here, that's for sure. Wouldn't y'all say?
A little bit. Yeah,
It's
a
been
little
pretty
bit.
exciting here. There's been a lot happening.
Well, you know, and
Some
it-
things.
the
Not been
Ripple
boring.
thing was fun.
It hasn't been boring.
No.
No, it wasn't boring before, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all right, let's get back to the SEC here. XRP versus SEC. John Deaton predicts no trial in the lawsuit. He says they may choose to drop the case or make a settlement to avoid trial in the XRP lawsuit. His comments come in the wake of a significant development in the case where they rejected the appeal bid in his previous loss there. When queried about the possibility, he expressed his belief that a trial would not take place. According to him, the agency was unlikely to proceed because their chances of success were slim, citing various factors, including the previous rulings, lack of convincing evidence, and the potential high cost associated with the trial. Pointed out they also have other things going on, like a case against Coinbase, Binance, that required its resources. So this, we've talked about this before. They have finite resources. Whereas some of these crypto firms, it isn't infinite, but it feels like it, at least with Binance, maybe even Coinbase, as long as they're selling their stock there. It's looking like more and more experts, who's people that are going to play both sides? Lawyers going to be like, well, I feel like it could go this way, but it could go that way. Now we're getting more and more lawyers saying, no, man, I'm feeling this direction. I'm feeling this direction. You get 9 out of 10 lawyers comfortable enough to say, I feel strongly it's heading in this direction. I feel like we're close to ultimately like a 99% consensus.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling pretty good about this. I mean, at what point are the odds that they're going to lose? I'm putting it at less than 20%. I want to say less than 10%.
That they're going to lose or win?
That the XRP will lose. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would put it at about 99 something. I think what we're seeing here is the SEC is finally saying, you know what? We got to start spending this money. We got to start wasting this money on other cases. We wasted enough on Ripple and XRP. It's time to get out of there. We're not going to win. I think I think they were just delaying. They kept delaying. There's no more delaying to happen. Now they want to go after Elon. They want to continue to go after Coinbase. Who knows? I mean, there's some suspicion they're going to go after some other coins as well. But I do think the precedence from this XRP case is going to be very damning to any case they take against individual coins like a Cardano or others. So this is a big win, DZ, in my opinion, for the crypto space. It doesn't mean the whole fight's over, but it is a win.
It is a win. It is a win. And, people need this win because there might be clawbacks on the rocks, on the rock collections. Sure. And people are talking about the ETH rocks, so that's a whole thing right there. So we need these little victories now. Catch them all. Shout out to the best crypto content and crypto YouTube, Discover Crypto. Let me get 2 claps and a Ric Flair woo. Sorry if that hit anyone's ears. I try to say that pointed away from the mic. I try to only hurt Tim's ear there. Tim, how's your ear feel?
My ears are impenetrable. You will never hurt my ears.
Okay. Do you have tinnitus?
Maybe.
Yeah. There's I hear ringing once a month. Probably it goes away pretty quickly. But yeah, I worked in bars as a bartender and as a bouncer. Then also had a system in a car. And often, guys, you get it just from years and years and years of having your window down if you do a lot of highway driving. You got to be careful out there, folks. Claudio, thank you for the $10 super chat. If you got a message, shoot a message. We're more than happy to read it. That was legendary. Nailed the... Thank you, Jeremiah. I'm trying here. Catch them all. I hope you liked it. All right. It is time for Charts with Tim. Tim, we already looked at Rune. Yeah. So we got Rune out of the way. Let's see. Are there any there's really no other big winners and gainers. I mean, no one really cares about that random coin that's never really popped in. So we got Avalanche, could be another one that people are excited about. We got a lot of Avalanche fans. I know you got some stuff worked out for us. Show us that. And if you got time, I think people need an Avalanche. Speaking of rocks, it's all coming together now.
Listen, Avalanche on a little bit of a nice rally here to the upside. I haven't looked at this one here today. Come on now. Yeah, look at this 4-hour chart, not necessarily screaming that we have to reverse. Yes, we're overextended, but ignoring or really lightly kind of playing off of this bearish divergence with the red triangle on the oscillator and continue to move to the upside. That's very bullish. Bull trends and bull having control come when you ignore bearish indicators. Let's take a look at some other things. We are massively overextended looking at the wave here, but you can absolutely poke on through there. Let's take a look at the daily chart. 4-hour getting close to being overextended, but the daily chart, daily chart is giving us an overbought flash here. Man, there's definitely room to move to the upside, but I do have
expect a retrace as we check that former resistance as support. Maybe
the good news is, again, setting higher highs, higher lows, you could see that continue to move to the upside. But the last thing I wanted to look at on the daily chart, pull down my oscillators here. Let's kind of zoom out. That we did not fall all the way back to this long trending support level, but you will see a little bit of a trend going here. The question is, which one do you want to work with? I'm gonna go with this one right here. I'm gonna go With the resistance, we are getting really close to that descending level of resistance on a macro. But guess what pattern this is, ladies and gentlemen? That is what we call a falling wedge pattern. This, I don't know if it's going to break through now or it's going to reject and break through later, but these traditionally do go to the upside. And if it plays out the way it should, this would be a breakout that could see the price of AVAX. Again, I don't love where the markets are right now, but this could see AVAX go back up to 1836. That's if we break through it right now. So definitely continue to watch that blue line and that resistance level. Again, we're seeing overextended flashes there. If I were to pull up Fibonacci as well, I'm going to expect there's going to be some, maybe that's a 0.236 level. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick. Oh, it's not. It's actually have some room to move to the upside there. So if I go down to this peak, let's see if we are running to a level. No, it's got room to the upside for sure that we could go ahead and break through this resistance right now. Let's kind of watch. Let's kind of watch what AVAX is doing, but that's a bullish pattern long term. That would be very interesting as we start to see some movement.
Looked like it was getting oversold there for a bit. JB has a good question. Frankie no longer doing TA. No, Frankie's still a big family member here. We still love him. We still got Italian dinner every Sunday. He's been sick. He had to cancel the Jason Casper stream. Tony's right down the hall. Yeah. All right. So what else do we got besides Avalanche? Thank you for the Avalanche there. Great breakdown. And quick question. A descending wedge is different than a descending triangle, which has a flat bottom.
Yes.
Descending wedges, typically, not like it's every time, but typically upside. Descending triangle, typically downside, correct?
Yeah, and the reason for that is that flat bottom, it's just like a brick wall, and every single time the price hits it, it's like a hammer hitting the wall.
You're basically, it's like when Bitcoin tried to go below 20, you know, it touched that 20. It's scooping up the order books. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm going to buy at that level because it's a strong level, and it's just slowly scooping it up, and it keeps touching, and it keeps touching, and it keeps touching, and it keeps touching, and then boom. Whereas descending, it's more like bulls and bears just having their weird fight.
Exactly. That's a great way to think about the psychology of it. And they're not perfect. Again, most formations you're looking at about 70 to 80% probabilities, which means you got 20 to 30% chance it moves in the opposite direction. But more often than not, those are how they move.
And speaking of moving in the opposite direction, and then I'll come back to you. Stop interrupting. I'm sorry.
No.
Andrew had a great comment. Listening on headphones and just Ric Flaired around a bunch of people with no explanation. So heads turned in the opposite direction at his workplace. But you know what? Now they're less likely to fire you, probably. I don't know, man. That guy, he's so enthusiastic. It's crazy.
Listen.
He's just so excited about office supplies. I don't know what you do. I'm just
tell them to smash the like button is what they need to do after hearing the Ric Flair. Let's talk Bitcoin here, because this morning when we got those job reports, and I know we're going to talk about them more here in just a little bit, but we had a massive red candle in the hourly chart. This was a very negative response that we've almost wiped out all of those losses. Again, starting this morning at the report, we were at 27,777. Lots of sevens in there. Those are good numbers. We dropped all the way as low as 27,179. But again, last 2 hours of candles, we're moving back to the upside. You're going to see on the oscillators here on the hourly chart, very volatile price action and flashes here. We didn't even have to go that far down to get a bullish flash back with our MVP oscillator flashing green. So short-term bullish. There are some things I'm looking at here, though, DZ, that I want to continue to see how it responds. So we have a trend line here on a shorter time frame. This red line right here that had been support. We turned it into resistance yesterday, and today we're kind of dancing with it. We dropped way below it, but right now we are sitting back above. Where do we settle? We have the president coming out to talk about those job numbers at about 11:30. I'm not going to spoil. We have a conversation later on in the show. We'll talk about that. But that news should be bearish, and I'll explain why later. But the price not responding that way. So is it as simple as saying this isn't really that bad? Is this volatility from traders? The volume picking up a little bit, but not necessarily anything crazy. So my expectation would be, let's watch what Biden says at 11:30, and let's see what the charts do there. We won't be live during that. But for other shows, watch how price responds after 11:30 when Biden speaks about those numbers. Now, if the bears continue to build up, there's another support level. Got a good amount of support below us here. Watch out for levels right there on 27,000, a little bit low, 26.9. Could be an interesting spot to find some support. But as we stand right now, lower time frames, mixed bag, but I would give them a little bit more of a leaning towards bullish, DZ, despite the fact that the news probably is bearish. This is not a zone I'm really that excited to trade in right now. Fundamentals and news not going the way we really want it. Charts kind of being indecisive with what they want to do. If I'm looking at Fibonacci levels out here as well, We're kind of sitting in a no man's land territory. We came and bounced perfectly off that 0.32. It looks like we're heading back up to the 0.236, but are we going to keep climbing higher? Are we going to outdo this high of 28.6? Or are we slowly but surely in a shorter time frame working on lower highs, lower lows? And that's what I want to see what happens after Biden speaks. That'll tell us a lot of information about what the next couple of weeks look like. I'll just close this just in case people have not been watching the show. There's another thing that I'm a little concerned about in the more macro timeline over the next couple of months, and that is a potential pattern of a head and shoulders. This, of course, if it breaks out, you go from the head down to the candle, to the neckline. This will give us a price prediction of 19,300 if this breakout happens. Not going to happen today, not going to happen tomorrow. This is a play that would take months probably to see it happen, or at least weeks. But it's definitely still in the cards right there. Keep your eyes on this, but yeah, mixed bag this morning, DZ.
Edmund Video, man, Bitcoin chart about to repeat a previous pattern. Pretty sure is pretty relevant. Is it on your radar? If you're talking about 2023, kind of looking similar to 2019, where, oh yeah, we're kind of matching the levels, fitting within the 4-year cycle. There's one thing I don't like about that, and that is March 2020. You know what I'm talking about? It was a black swan event. It kind of messed up the chart. If you just kind of remove a 3-month period, you kind of make your own squiggly line and remove that wick to the downside. So that 2020 crash is going to freak people out. So I think it's going to break from that as we get close to that. March 2020 in a 3-year, 10-month cycle is going to be January 24 and November, December, January. So we're only 3 months away from that. So I don't want to overlay a pattern, which I think is going to be obsolete in 3 months.
The problem with this, DZ, is go to my screen one more time here, Drew, and we're going to end it with this. So if this is 2019, this was the high, what I call the pre-bull market rally up to almost $14,000. And then we pulled back massively. The question is, are we right here?
Did you just fall out of your chair, Drew?
Yeah, he's clumsy. The question is, are we right here? Are we in the January period where, if, again, like you said, if COVID never happens in March of 2020, are we just moving kind of sideways up and to the right?
I think so.
My suspicion, though, DZ, is we're not sitting here. Look at where we were in October. I think we're sitting here. I think there is another new low coming. Not a new low for the bear market, but a new low for this pullback. But that's the question. Are we here? Are we corresponding to January of 2020? Or are we corresponding right now to October of 19? My vote, October, but we'll have to see how this plays out over the next couple of weeks.
Well, if it's 3-year, 10-month, it'd actually be closer to July.
It would be like September, the beginning of September.
Yeah, well, beginning of October.
And it's not a perfect, when you do the 4-year cycle, which is like you said, 3-year, 10-month, 11-month, it's not a perfect tit for tat thing, but there's pockets that are similar. In my opinion, we're sitting in a similar pattern to that October rally before a bigger dip down. That's what I've been talking about for a while. And if we break 32,000, I will concede that that's not where we are. But as long as we stay below 32,000 and that head and shoulder stays intact, we are very much in danger of going lower than 25,000.
All right, so Edmonton is saying 30K in about a week. So 30K in about a week. All right, we'll revisit next Friday. We'll revisit.
It's
Edmonton.
possible. It's very possible.
All right, will the Bitcoin 4-year cycle ever break? I think it'll just slowly diminish over time, where it'll go out with a whimper, not go out with a bang. Where it'll be like, oh my God, it's correlated, and it's not anymore out of nowhere. It'll be pretty easy to track it there. COVID would have gotten above, would never gone above. Oh, you're saying because the money printing? I would disagree with that. All right, they were going to print some anyways, just wouldn't have been as much. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin hodler growth compared to 20. All right, now we're going to talk about Bitcoin hodlers here. What's going on with the big holders? Some of us regular folks too. The hodler growth is comparable to the 2017 cycle. Will Bitcoin 10x in the next bull run? This is kind of speaking of the 4-year cycle. I don't think it will. This is according to Charles Edwards. He believes the hodl waves for long-term. He's looking at the hodl waves for long-term holders here. You know that the most recent massive growth in long-term holders is comparable only with 2016. The jump will have big consequences in 2024. He said, and this is not seen in the last bull cycle, meaning the next one could be even larger. That makes this cycle more similar to 2017, which saw the 10x the price appreciation of 2020. Sentiment is strengthening here. The current fear and greed market index is at 50, which is neutral. However, analysts and traders are confident that next year we'll see the beginning of a new cycle that peaks in 2025. This analyst said it won't take much for Bitcoin to flip bullish. It's also the premise of a spot Bitcoin ETF approval. This would mean that issuers need to buy Bitcoin directly, adding to buying pressure and elevating prices. The potential impact of supply shock has also been observed by many crypto traders and investors. Another potential driver is a victory for Ripple, Coinbase, and Grayscale against the SEC. Of course, have shown leniency in their favor in ruling so far, and an all-out win would be a massive boon for the crypto industry. Yeah, a lot of macro. Looks like things are starting to flip from macro bearish to slowly and surely macro bullish here. Lucia reaching out. All right, Geo. Okay, we weren't we in talks of another stimulus? I'm not sure. I'd have to go back on the Wayback Machine back then. I was so deep into Magic the Gathering content. I'm not sure. I was a little bit slowed down on the finance news there. I think Gary Gensler cares about self-destruction. Is so deep in the case. Why not stall them as long as he can? I think he's just his name is Goldman Gary. I think it's just it is what it looks like. I think that's all that is. It is what it looks like. All right. Well, this is one of the best live stream out there, according to 508 Visuals. I agree. And if you agree at home, what can they do?
Another Ric Flair call.
I was gonna say just hit the like button, but you're gonna make me
do it.
go on the spot.
They want it. They want it.
All right, look, I'll do it, but I don't appreciate the tone just then.
Listen,
it was a little demanding, and I feel a little diminished as a man.
DZ, would you please do the Ric Flair?
Yeah, you got it. Since you're showing contrition here.
Yeah.
All right.
That was substantial.
I wanted to build it up that time.
That was substantial.
All right, let's talk about Bitcoin. It might reach 98x the price of gold, according to this analyst here. Continues to be the gold standard, both metaphorically and, as some suggest, soon in a literal sense as well. Glassnode co-founder. Okay, he posed a thought-provoking question. Will Bitcoin ever basically 100x the price of gold? So this is the Bitcoin gold ratio, is a metric that compares the price of Bitcoin to that of gold and appears poised for a significant leap. Using Fibonacci extensions, the analyst predicts potential extension levels that could see gold priced around 1,200 and Bitcoin soaring to approximately 120K. Such predictions align with, okay, so I didn't know if he was like eventually talking about market cap. Yeah, okay, ounce is an arbitrary man-made unit. Okay, 21 million was an arbitrary man-made number for Bitcoin. So these just arbitrary man-made numbers. I don't even want to look at that. All right, stocks plummet after jobs report blow past expect. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, now we're in the jobs report. Drew, you're already on it. Johnny on the spot over there.
That's right.
But his name's Drew.
Dude, I had a can explode on me just now. It wasn't me falling out of the chair. I dropped a can and it exploded all over me. It was insane.
Why are you drinking cold brews?
Well, it's early.
It's 11 in the morning.
I'm in Georgia.
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah. Good excuse.
Let's see. Catch them all at PTO this December. Thinking about going to Georgia. Love to tour. Of course, more than welcome to tour. Catch them all. Always welcome. Hope they bring back child tax credit. All right. Yeah, that would be a good thing. That was a mix of flair and a frat boy after shots. Is there much of a difference there?
No. I mean just steroids.
Yeah, Ric Flair is just that frat boy after decades of steroids and cocaine. All right. And I mean, if you think of a frat boy, isn't that kind of the timeline anyways? I'm talking about you, Bruce Kavanaugh.
Yeah, they even have the headbands. Often.
All right. Stocks. Let's talk about stocks here. Stocks plummet after the jobs report blows past expectations. Stock market news today here. Here we have two people furrowing their brow as they look at different laptops. So you know they're serious. The futures took a nosedive Friday after the U.S. jobs report blew past expectations as investors considered the possibility that it could sway the Fed Reserve's thinking on whether to hold or hike interest rates. The job data did not show the signs of cooling in the labor market that were forecast. We added 336,000 jobs in September, almost twice the number expected. That could give the Fed more evidence that the labor market remains strong, making the case for a more restrictive policy for longer. I wonder where all these laborers are coming from. Anyways, Fed official Mary Daly, why aren't you at the courthouse doing marriages?
Mary Daly, that'd be great.
Right?
That'd be a high demand, I would imagine, if that was her job.
Okay, all right. So, me and Kat, we're looking at all these things. We want to get an efficient. They're pretty expensive.
Yeah.
If your name was Mary Daly, I feel like you're going top of the list. You could charge like a 30% premium just on your name alone. Mary Daly.
Take this out.
You chose to work for the spooks instead. Well, she said on Thursday, if long-term bond yields remain around the current levels, then the Fed may not need to raise interest rates again. The blistering rally in yields calmed somewhat on Friday, with a 10-year U.S. Treasury yield steady after climbing 55 basis points in a 5-week long sell-off there. So here's the S&P 500. It's kind of okay. I wouldn't say this much of a huge downward movement, 0.74% to the downside. The bond sell-off may well continue, given there's no clear catalyst to stem the bleeding, according to some analysts. It would take a washout in stocks or softening in the economy to prompt a retreat in yields, they believe. So people are dumping them. They don't want them. We're like, look, we'll crank it. We'll turn it up. Please buy them. Please buy them. We're like, we still don't want them. I'll make it 10%. I still don't want them. In fact, China's dumping them. Japan's dumping them. We're all dumping 11%, 12%. What is that going to do to the broader economy? Many of you may be wondering. That is going to affect your home loans. That's going to affect your car loans. That's going to affect your credit card payments. Yep. And what's that going to do? That's going to diminish your purchasing power, which is then going to slow down the economy in the long run. Not going to be a great thing. Again, I could go on this for days, but then I'm just going to be led into blockchain basement or the bunker territory. So I kind of want to avoid. We'll stick with crypto today. Job numbers are too good.
Yeah.
LOL. Yeah, I remember I never really wrapped my head around that when I was younger. As I got older, I kind of see why, but from a logic perspective, does it even make sense? Man, all these officials are worried. Why? Well, okay. No, hold on. Well, why do you think they're worried? Oh, I'll tell you why they're worried. The job report, it just came in. Have you seen the numbers? Well, I'm looking at the numbers here. Okay. Oh, well, the job report says there's a bunch more jobs, and you're talking about the U.S. economy, so this is a good thing, right? No, you idiot. More jobs is bad. How does that make sense?
Scam.
It doesn't make sense when you frame it that way, right?
No, yeah.
Feels pretty rude.
It feels weird.
Yeah.
It feels weird. And it makes you think like, oh, well, they have all these massaging controls on the economy, largely related to how money is printed and how 10-year loans are, paid out, which is, again, is kind of a way of just printing money. You give me $100, I have to print some money 10 years from now. So it all revolves around the printing of money and the controls and the levers and the wheels that they spin. And, we got to hit this button 5 times instead of 4 times. Got to hit it 2 more times. Hit the wheels, hit the controls. Well, imagine you take all that out. Would a healthy economy do bad when there's more jobs?
I mean, are you genuinely asking why you're wondering why this is bad news? Or are you
No, I mean, I understand why it's bad news. I'm just,
yeah.
If you remove the Fed and you remove monetary policy, and if you just took a step away and you stuck us on an island and we only had so many paper bills and you just move and we can't print anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that magical utopia of this island, would it matter then that more jobs is bad? Would that ever make sense?
If inflation was not a thing, this is a beautiful thing. We want to see this happen. But just to put it in layman's terms, in case anyone hasn't connected the dots, the reason this is bad, guys, is because what is the problem right now with the economy that people are talking about literally every single day? We try not to do it every day, but other places are doing it every day. Interest rates. Interest rates are something that is a problem. It is very hard. We talked about the other day, the housing. It's really hard to own a house at this point. In fact, the average cost of a house being $400,000 with the current interest rates means that if you were to buy a house and enter a mortgage today and take it to its full term of 30 years, you're going to pay $1 million for that house.
Yeah. Compared to $600K 2 years ago.
Yes.
2.5.
So with Jerome Powell not liking where inflation is, and for good reason, we also talked about how food is really more than double what it was here a couple of years ago. Inflation is still a problem. Jerome Powell wants to fix it. He fixes that by raising interest rates, but he doesn't want to crush the economy. So with these numbers coming out that people are still getting jobs and everything's going okay, it gives him the wiggle room to keep raising rates and create more pain and more frustration for small businesses. That will cripple the economy eventually. The question is, can he balance it just perfectly to where there's a soft landing? My answer, no. I think we're doomed, whether it be this next year or in 2027, as Jerome Powell has claimed. We're going to have a recession. I don't know if it's going to be as bad as 08, but I think it's going to be rough, DZ.
Yeah.
And this gives him the wiggle room he needs to potentially keep raising rates. Drew, if you show my screen, this is the prediction for November. And yes, we're still sitting at 68% saying we're probably going to stay paused. But when you factor in that yesterday this said 81.7% or something like that, we are dropping, meaning even the CME futures predictors are starting to get a little bit more uncomfortable after these numbers about their prediction. And 31% of them, this is rising obviously, are saying, yep, we could absolutely have 25 more basis points raised in November, which is in about 3 weeks from now. So that is why this whole thing is bad for prices of Bitcoin. If interest rates go up, Bitcoin goes down. Stocks go down. That's just how it works.
Yeah, it's because we all know in our hearts more jobs equals bad, right? I get it, and I understand the explanation. I can't help but wonder. I feel like I'm Ayn Rand here. Like, what would happen in this utopia without a money printing machine?
Well,
More jobs would always equal, more opportunity and just more robust economy. And I feel like it would, increase the strength of that finite amount of paper money.
But DZ, if you told me that these were good long-term jobs with strong security, I would almost say with you, you know what, for the sake of people, because everyone wants to feed their family and everything, you know what, good for that. That's good. The problem is that these jobs are fudged numbers based off of what time is it, guys?
Yeah.
It's October. What's coming around the corner? Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. These are temporary jobs for seasonal hiring. So they're inflating the numbers, and Biden's about to get on stage here in about 20 minutes and say, this is Bidenomics. It's working fine. Vote for me again. When we all know in January, this number is going to plummet. And the question is, do we respond correctly in doing so? I don't know. I don't think that. I mean, I think I'll have to find it. There was a number I was looking at earlier that shows even last year. You can see the spike start in October. It's kind of high in November. It starts to descend in December. Then January takes a big dip in jobs. And then, of course, February is low as well.
Yeah.
That's how history kind of repeats itself like that.
I'll tell you who is happy right now. Banks who are lending money. People who are in the money lending game. They're having a pretty good time right now. Government have to choose between deflation, hyperinflation. They will choose hyperinflation, according to DCA and Prey. I would agree with that point there. Although it seems like I get the rationale why deflation would be good, but I would like to go to sleep and then I wake up and my $100 has more purchasing power. That seems like a good world to live in, not one where it loses 2% annual rate, because that's good. All right, well, let's talk about SEC suing Elon Musk. SEC sues to force Elon Musk to testify in the Twitter probe. They're suing Elon Musk, claiming he didn't comply with the subpoena to testify. He failed to appear for testimony on the 15th last month, they said in a lawsuit on Thursday. It is tied to his purchase of Twitter last year and the stock trading surrounding the acquisition there. So they want to compel him to speak about buying Twitter last year, and they allege that he failed to appear. Broadly, they said the investigation is tied to whether anyone committed securities fraud and purchasing the shares last year as he was buying stock in the company. He closed his acquisition in October in a deal worth roughly $44 billion. His refusal to comply with the subpoena is hindering and delaying our investigation to determine whether violations have occurred. Accordingly, we are now asking to compel Musk to appear. Now, they said if it tried to find an agreeable time, hey, we tried to. Hey, look, we even worked with him. We were going to go to his office in Fort Worth. We didn't want to go to San Francisco. So the closest SEC was in office. Multiple dates were proposed for October and November. These were good faith efforts, but they were met with a blanket refusal to appear for testimony. Well, they said in a testimony, look, Musk has already given testimony multiple times, and enough is enough. They also allege that he refused to comply because of several spurious objections, including an objection to San Francisco as an appropriate testimony location.
That's reasonable.
Look, I don't want to walk into the office with feces on my shoe.
Yeah.
Is that what you want, SEC? I didn't think so.
Lawyer comes in with a fork in his head or something. It can get weird down there.
Too soon.
Right, I'm sorry.
Let's see here. What do you, tokenomics team? That's why I feel. Honestly, community and tech. Probably my top two metrics right there.
Catch them all. You can't choose one and ignore the others. You have to take a lot of factors into consideration, because the team could be amazing, but if the tokenomics and everything are terrible and you don't have an increase in price, it's no good. You need the tokenomics to be good, the team to be good, the tech to be good. And as DZ said, I would add in there, one of the biggest factors to me is community. You want to know what the community looks like as well.
Yeah. All right. Additionally, they claim that they're using it as so Musk's lawyers say, look, they're using the subpoena as a method to harass him, thus justifying his decision not to comply. He also alleged that he used the recent publication. Oh, so his recent book written by Walter Isaacson is another reason. Look, we have new information potentially relevant to this matter, and we need time. Look, this book just came out. We need time to look at it. San Francisco's not a good spot. Musk has already testified a couple times. This is a little too much. SEC's like, no, we need to talk to him a third time, and he didn't comply. They said in a statement that the staff is continuing its fact-finding investigation and to date has not conducted that any individual or entity has violated any laws. A hearing on the filing is scheduled to take place on the 9th. So we'll find out if he's going to have to comply or not. But if you're team Elon and not team SEC, you know how you can show that? You can show it by hitting the like button, everybody. Let's shock the system, just like Elon's shocking the SEC.
Elon watches our likes for moral support. So if you need to give him some moral support, smash the like button so he knows.
Look, he has a lot of companies, and I would like to think there has to be some number of employees at some number of his companies that do watch the show.
Yeah, they absolutely 100%.
So the SpaceX, I don't know if it's SpaceX. I don't know if it's Starlink, which is a subsidiary of that. I don't know if it's Tesla. I don't know if it's Boring Company. I don't know if it's an ex-employee. Probably most likely an ex-employee.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, hey, they're watching. So show the love, show the likes. Let's show the support for someone fighting the SEC. Look, here's a breakdown. He gave his testimony several times. They say, look, there's new information that's came to light. I think they came up with some number, 1,500 documents. That's a number that you can just kind of make up. You can individually select tweets. And then, hey, I found 2,000 tweets. And now it's 3,500 documents. And guess what? Does it really mean anything? It really doesn't. I'm with him for the pushback, but I do think that they're going to force him to speak one final last time. I don't think anything's going to come from this, but what I do think is happening, I think the Biden administration is they're leaning on him. I don't think they liked what he did with the Twitter files. I think the military and there's some aspects of the intelligence agencies love him. They love him for Starlink. He sends secret spy satellites into orbit for the intelligence agencies and the military. That is not some crazy conspiracy. That is just a fact. You can look at Falcon Heavy launch dates, and you can see, secret military. I don't know how they word it, but you could actually see he's literally launching the military satellites. And this reminds me of the government. They sue Coinbase, but what do? They sell their Bitcoin on Coinbase. They're using Elon Musk's rockets when it's satisfying for them, when it's convenient for them. But then they sue him with the other hand and say, oh, that's just a different agency. Yeah. You don't think the executive branch could lean on this? Maybe compel him, leave this man alone. He's probably doing a lot more for the globe and for humanity than anyone in the government, I would say.
Yeah.
Who in the government's equaling his output to put humanity to the next level?
Hope Biden doesn't sit commander on him, because then we'd have some serious problems.
For sure. I saw more about that commander thing. I saw some clips of him. That dog was abused.
Yeah, he was.
I'm not going to say by whom.
He was kicking the dog.
They were he. Okay, you said he. I'm not going to say who. He kicked the dog. Of course, that dog's biting people. You treat him like Michael Vick's puppy. Okay. We're not going to look. I'm not going to show animal cruelty videos, but there's videos of the guy kicking the dog. Man, kind of messed up. Will mainstream media report on that? No. If it was a certain different individual, do you think they would report on that?
Yeah,
I think so, because that's a salacious story. All right, what do we got next here? We got some more. All right, so we're going to roll into the SBF trial here. Trial to resume with testimony from an ex-FTX employee, not his ex. Calm down, folks. No, it's from an ex-FTX executive here. So we're talking about Gary Wang. Was set to retake the stand on Friday and continue testifying against his former roommate and boss, who stands accused of stealing billions of dollars from customers of the cryptocurrency exchange. He is one of 3 insiders who pled guilty to fraud charges and entered a cooperative agreement with the government. They were college roommates before going on to co-found the hedge fund Alameda. He testified that while at FTX, he created software code at the direction of Sam and that gave special privileges to Alameda, allowing it to withdraw unlimited funds. These privileges, one of the main mechanisms that they use to plunder customer assets. The attorney said during opening statements that they're not just an ordinary customer, but a market maker, generate a supply and demand. And while he's the first cooperator to take stand, jurors have so far heard from 3 other witnesses. Former user testified he was unable to withdraw his funds. Matt Huang, head of a crypto-focused fund that invested in FTX, said he told Alameda received no preferential treatment on the platform. So he was told, look, Alameda isn't getting special rules. They don't have special backdoors. There's no special backdoors. Only at the Polycule, but no special backdoors at FTX office there. Zach Prince, co-founder of BlockFi, also among the witnesses expected to testify after Wang finishes when the trial resumes next Tuesday. So they're predicting this goes until November. What are your guys' thoughts on? I mean, if it goes that long, I mean, what's the big bombshell moment? All right, so you go back to Johnny Depp, Amber Heard.
Mm-hmm.
It's the bed.
It was the bed.
It was the bed.
Yep.
So what's the bed for this story?
Maybe it's the beanbag.
Like what they got to do like DNA sampling of the insides?
Yeah.
Who kicked the dog? Think about it, man. Come on, man.
Come on, corn.
Do you
pop.
think
Come on,
that,
man.
Do you think that
You know
Commander being kicked out for biting is a psyop, and maybe Commander was the one with the Parmesan cheese in the library?
Look, the Commander was kicked out.
Listen, he might do Parmesan cheese after being kicked.
I think it's just a simulation of being funny.
Yeah.
The Commander was kicked
Out.
The Commander was kicked, like literally kicked, and then he was kicked out. He was given the boot.
We can't show it. Just Google it. Commander kicked.
Yeah, just Google it. I mean, it's pretty messed up videos. Look, I'll act it out.
Goodness gracious! All right, here we go.
All right.
He's like pulling.
He's walking.
Holy crap!
That's a lot louder.
That's what he did. It's messed up video. It's a messed up video.
That pumpkin can take a beating. Holy crap!
John Faster, zero BS rants now is 100x better. Well, I hope that wasn't a BS rant. I'm sitting here acting out. I don't even want to say it out loud. I'm having theater moments with pumpkins.
Look at that pumpkin. How did that pumpkin stay intact? It just about put a hole in the wall.
All right, here
That's
we
a good
go.
brand.
There's definitely orange on the wall now where he exchanged paint.
Oh man. You know what? It's Bitcoin orange. It's all right.
Yeah.
All right. More Sam Bankman news here. Look, you guys, I didn't even know the Commander story till y'all told me about it. So when I saw it, I like clicked, and then next thing you know, put in the algorithm, and I was like, whoa, when I saw that video this morning. Commander, look, Commander was hopped up. All right. Who you guys going on for Dylan Dennis, Logan Paul? I don't really care.
I'm tired of that one too. That's
I want Logan to lose, I guess.
I want it off of my Twitter feed. I don't follow either one of them, and yet it's still all over my Twitter feed.
Here's my I was in a same room with Logan Paul a couple times. One, I was sitting next to Mike Perry, crypto face, and I remember I could tell like it felt like a beef between our two VIP sections. It was a club in Vegas. I think it was 21 or 2022 maybe. No, Bitcoin Miami 2022. That's what it was. And the next time, here's the Logan Paul story. It was at a Steve Aoki concert, and when he was doing the Polaroid Snapshot NFT collection, and I remember he was like releasing videos about it. And here's what I saw. I saw Steve Aoki doing a show. He's like, hey guys, I'm gonna throw a cake in 5 minutes. And then I see like 4 people come up, and I think it was Aaron or Frankie Candles. They're like, oh, that's Logan Paul. And they kind of comfort, like, you know, like Steve Aoki hits play and he like walks away from his DJ thing, and they kind of talk. And then all of a sudden, this is what I see. Logan Paul all of a sudden pulls out his phone. They're all like real calm, like, and then all of a sudden this happens. And then they like shook hands. Okay, cool. All
so
right.
it's a scam.
And then I later saw the content like 5 days later, 3 days later. Guys, VCon was such a blast. I had such a blast at the Steve Aoki concert. Here's a clip. Whoa! Whoa! We were having such a good time the whole time. And it was like, guys, that whole thing was just such a charade.
Yeah.
Because he was just like this normal business guy. He got in, he did the concert, and he left. He was there for all of 90 seconds. But he made it seem like, guys, last night was a movie. Steve Aoki was nuts. Yeah. And it was nothing like that. All right, back to Sam Bankman-Fried. So that's why I want Logan Paul to lose. I don't know. Mike Perry, sponsored by Market Cypher. Yeah, that's why he was there. Very, very nice guy. Never mess with anyone with, you could tell they've been in tussles by their ears. So that's just a rule of,
cauliflower
I just always show those people respect.
Yeah, don't mess with cauliflower ear.
Never.
No.
Never. It would never work well for you.
No.
All right, I've never seen someone with cauliflower lose, and like I've seen them go against bigger people. So, you know, just word of advice there. All right, Sam Bankman-Fried, he needs to get some cauliflower ears, start practicing here. 2 multi-million-dollar jets may be forfeit. The assets whose ownership is in dispute could also be used to pay back creditors of FTX. Is anyone sad he's losing his private jets?
Not at all.
Is anyone shedding a tear?
I'm surprised he hadn't lost him yet.
Speaking of jets, there's a fun Jets conspiracy. Taylor Swift was at a Jets game recently, right?
Yes.
Now,
Not
when you
for the
think of
Jets,
Taylor
but-
Swift and Jets, did any story come to mind before the New York Jets? She was often criticized
Okay.
because she speaks about climate change a lot.
Them flies.
So when you think about private jets, climate change, what do you think about? Like a little hypocritical.
a little bit.
You
Little
know,
bit,
I mean,
yeah.
like, oh, you're saying I got to do all this, but you're like literally, you know, burning enough cars for 400,000 people. I'm just making up numbers, of course. And so when you would Google Taylor Swift and jets,
Mhm.
Taylor Swift's jets, it would be all these articles. Is Taylor Swift really pro or anti climate change? Now, when you Google Taylor Swift's jet, Taylor Swift at Chiefs game,
Yeah.
10 Jets game.
Nice cover.
Just a fun conspiracy.
Nice cover.
Is there anything here?
I mean, she's dating now Travis Kelce, and she's trying to uplift her career. Listen, Taylor Swift's trying to get a music career going, so she's dating the best tight end in the NFL to get some more fame.
Yeah, so I don't know. Wait a minute. Is this the wild theory? Look, I know this isn't.
Goodness gracious.
Now they're making stories about it. All right. That
No,
website-
that's ridiculous as well. Listen, everyone's benefiting very much so. Travis Kelce's podcast now is like, I think it's the top of I don't remember which list, but it's now, he has a podcast with his brother. That's going nuts. Swiftie fans are buying NFL jerseys, specifically Kelce jerseys, in masses. It's definitely made its way into the public eye in a good way for a lot of people, but it's kind of stupid.
They are bad wrestlers. A good one has normal ears. Okay, that's a hot take. Let's see. 90 seconds was the concert. No, Steve Aoki, he threw like 10 cakes. He was hitting bullseyes. I don't know. You probably maybe have seen a video of it or two. Like he'll hit you 13 rows back, and like he'll like bullseye people's face there.
Yeah.
You know what else is a fun thing to do though, DZ?
Eating cake normally.
Talking about crypto again.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Thank you for bringing us back into the realm here. Look, people love Taylor Swift stuff, though.
Yeah.
The cake thing, I get it, but people love
It's
Swift
true.
stuff.
It's
I don't-
true.
If anything, they want us to talk more about Taylor Swift. But let's talk about Rune here. Rune plummeting. It actually hit about 10% as THORSwap freezes operation amid illicit activity. So they supports multiple blockchains. Announced that it paused activity. They moved to maintenance mode after detecting a series of illicitly linked funds that had been funneled through the platform. The native token power and THORChain network Rune has since plummeted by 9%. So we got a Thor video coming out. Before we break down this article, to kind of dictate how I'll talk about it. Tim, when does that video come out?
The Rune one, I think Monday. I think Monday is when that's going to be released.
Guys, all right. So I don't want to share too much alpha, but we tell you exactly what happens. If you're a bad actor in that network, you have to basically put up $1 of whatever currency, let's just say is Bitcoin, and you got to put up a certain amount of Rune that's relative to that. There's a certain ratio. And if you mess up this, they take that Rune, and that Rune's gone. And what do they do with that? So you got to watch that video on Monday. Make sure you have notifications on. We're going to break down a lot of THORSwap stuff for you. So they support multiple blockchains across the THORChain network. Now they had paused activity. They moved to maintenance mode after some stolen funds were found moving on there, and they paused until it was able to implement a more durable, comprehensive solution to improve security here. They clarify the functions such as liquidity pool actions, earn, borrow, and staking actions continue to be fully accessible. They stand firmly against any and all criminal activity, especially those on the THORSwap platform. Representative for Thor community reached via Discord told Decrypt. So it is being used by illicit movers of funds, the Lazarus Group and Hack of Random Hack and this electrical grid hack and that random hack. They're moving on there. Why? I guess because it works, and also there's Tornado Cash sanctions are kind of on the upswing. But Tornado Cash didn't go down or didn't fall out of popularity because it didn't work. It fell out of popularity because investigators didn't like it and Department of Justice didn't like it. And we're seeing something here. I feel like Tornado Cash, they chose, I'm fighting. I'm standing here. I'm planting my feet. And you know what? You're going to start arresting those developers. Do you see THORChain taking that route? No, I see THORChain cooperating on some level. So I wouldn't say this is totally bearish for the price. I think most retail likes Thor, not because it's easy to move stolen funds. I think they just like a bridge-like solution that isn't as easily hacked. And if that is their only proposition for value, that is still a gigantic proposition for value. So I'm still semi-bullish on Thor, but I would want to wait a day or two to see if this plays out. It could be more downside movement. Could be maybe it reverses tomorrow. So maybe you want to put in a little bit now. I'd feel okay about that, but some on my radar. Are you guys looking at Thor or Rune?
Oh yeah. I've been watching Thor for a while. I love the initiative of it and kind of giving more access to using Bitcoin outside of centralized exchange, the need for centralized exchanges. I liked cutting out that middleman. And yeah, we're in a time frame where they're going to have a little downward pressure from, the powers that be, but it's all FUD. It'll keep running. And people, like you said, the average person isn't moving stolen funds. So
yeah,
I don't think it's a problem.
Edmonton, have a good one there. Thank you. Who remembers RuneScape? Some of the OG crypto people got their start on RuneScape.
I played RuneScape. That's how you know it's actually a thing. If Tim has played RuneScape, it had some popularity.
I did not have
I'm
that
not
on
a
my
gamer
bingo
at all.
card. Y'all, did y'all think Tim played RuneScape?
No.
A little neighbor kid got me into it, and so I wasn't allowed to play it more than likely. I never asked. It's one of those things that I was like, I'm not even going to risk asking mom if I'm allowed. I'm just going to sneak it.
Yeah, she didn't know. Need to know. Well, they bleeped out cuss words in the chat feature, right?
I don't remember.
Don't remember. Yeah, I would have figured you just played like the old school Maddens.
I think that was when I was like 10 years old. So
okay.
Yeah.
No one uses Tornado Cash except North Korea. Okay. Fair assessment there. Greg already has the baby watching.
Yeah.
So Greg, what we need you to do is open up a second account on YouTube in your baby's name, and then prop up a second device. Look. We need unique viewers here, Greg.
Smash that like.
Yeah, and make them a super sub. All right, let's talk about Star Arena here. A lot of people want to talk about Stars Arena. Social app Stars Arena dispels coordinated FUD after patching a noob vulnerability. A fault in the price function allowed hackers to escape with roughly $2,000, but it's been patched, everybody. This is the Avalanche friend tech, essentially, and it's what they call it as coordinated FUD after patching an exploit that saw attackers escape with 2K, a little bit over 1.25 ETH from the Avalanche-based decentralized social media platform. Stars Arena account said the exploit was fixed, adding, "Don't get this wrong. We are at war. We're being targeted by malicious actors in the space that want to steal your money. Little guy's under attack. You are under attack. Your right to platform diversity is under attack. If there's something I want to fight for, it's platform diversity.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to get a tattoo of. Let's see. Let's read the whole thing. I'm liking this energy here. Oh, God. Don't get it wrong. This is coordinated. It's coordinated FUD. The malicious actors are trying to spend $5 to drain $1 from our platform. Make note of that. They're throwing money away to take your money. They don't want diversity. They want only monopoly.
Who wrote this?
This is chaos.
It's like a 15-year-old wrote
Yeah.
This is not the way. No, this is written like Dwight Schrute in front of the sales meeting. We are at war.
blood alone moves history.
Come back to it. You got one more line in us?
What else did he say in that one? We are not at war with worlds. We are at war with ourselves.
Oh my.
We will fight.
Yeah.
We will survive.
We will fight.
We will win. We have the devs.
That's such a good episode.
We have the team.
That's a good episode.
We have the people. Community is the glue that binds us. We will endure. We will prevail. We will succeed. The arena marches on. That's in message there. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, they're fighters, folks. They're into it. They're in it for the long haul here. I think this is good, clever marketing. I would give them an A+ in marketing. Nick, you did commercials. How would you grade this from a marketing perspective?
I would say, wait, pull up that tweet again. I mean, this is,
And they led with font, thick, bold font there.
yeah, this is not great. This
Not
is,
great?
This is not a good look. No.
Okay. Well, it seems like
Does this look like confidence to you? No, it does not.
yeah. If to
He
Nick's
wanted to
point,
make sure each line had its special weight to it. You know.
Oh yeah, it was weighty. I'm full of sweat down below. You know.
And hey, he got your engagement. You opened up the whole thing, so
It worked. It did work.
Yeah.
All right. So to Nick's point, I now that he says that, I kind of agree because I look to, all right, so what would CZ do when it comes to like, ops, being forward facing, getting ahead of the story, dispelling FUD, doing this. What would CZ do? All right. So here they say the malicious actors were trying to spend $5 to drain $1 in TVL from our platform. I feel like they just would have done the math there in like the simplest way, the simplest terms. Like here you can see that they deposited 20K, well, what they end up with 2K. So here you see they deposited $9,876 to do this, and then blah, blah, blah. Then they only ended up walking away with $2,000. So this shows that this was, at a blank percentage, something. And then you'd be like, oh, wow. They like put those blockchain detectives on it. And clearly this is just some coordinated attack. But yeah, this makes me, this kind of the message is lost in the noise there. But hey, I like it. I think it's more of a NFT fun Web3 protocol thing, not a, wow, this company CEO is going to be speaking in front of Congress in 2 years. I wouldn't give it that. So I would say this will never be a $1 trillion company, but this could blow up into something, I would say. They're in a space right now. So that's pretty good. Bullish that they're in spaces.
Get them on the show.
All right. They got 252 people in there. Stars Arena. Their arena marches on. Got more. All right, let me scroll up. I don't know what their tweets are looking like here. So
That's
I
getting weird.
don't want to get caught unawares. Let's see. Thor, easy money. All right, so this is it's time for the Nictator. What would CZ do? That can be a T-shirt. All right, I'll say something to Morel.
WWCZD. Welcome everyone to Discover Crypto. Now's the real start of the show. That was the pre-show. Thanks, Deezy, for the pre-show.
Yeah, that was just chaos.
It's drunken rambling. So, who likes to make easy money? I like to make easy money. There is no such thing as an easy buck, but there is such thing as easy money when it comes to making money in crypto. So what we're going to do in this section of the show, easy money, is we're going to look at some ways that you can mine some coin, okay? To put a little jingle in your pocket, as it were. All right? So to do that, you're going to need one of three things. You're going to need a computer. You're going to need a graphics card. You're going to need a ASIC miner. You're going to need a power supply. You're going to need, actually, you're going to need everything I just listed, not one of those. You're going to need everything I just listed to make some of that money. So let's look at, we're going to get into Flux here in a second. Let's look at the hashrate.no. It's a good website you need to get familiar with to understand what is profitable and what is mineable when it comes to crypto. On a graphics card, they've got all sorts of graphics cards that you can search by. They've got all sorts of coins that you can search by. These are the price gainers for the last 24 hours. OCV coin, don't know what that is. Price gain of 25%. Cryonic, Zephyr, don't know what these projects are. Nurai, though, is a project that I'm familiar with. Very, very interesting project, Nurai. Octaspace is a fantastic project, which we will feature later. Today, we're actually going to talk about another kind of project that's actually a crypto OG. But let's see what is profitable on a 3080. So on your standard 3080, you're going to need a cheap electric rate. Two Bros Mining says that. That's correct. There are some people who are is this the bite of the pumpkin that you took?
Yeah. Yeah, he bit the pumpkin in half. It got weird earlier. Yeah, things happened.
Channeling Tom Hanks.
Yep, channeling Tom Hanks.
Yikes. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. So if you've got basically any graphics card that's been made within the last 4 years, you can mine some crypto coin. Yes, you're going to need cheap electricity, but some people who are in the scam known as the university system here in the United States are already paying tuition, and in that tuition, your electricity is included. So you might as well mine that coin. Here in the great state of Georgia, the winter rates are about 10 cents per kilowatt hour, and it could get down to as low as 7. That's very good. But if you're in California and you're paying like 20, 25, or even 30 cents per kilowatt hour, it's tough. But let's go ahead and look at your standard RTX 3080. This card is a couple years old. You may just have one in your computer. Let's go ahead and click on this. See what is mineable. I don't know if you can actually read this or not, but we're going to look at and see what the actual projects are. So Dynex, this is a fantastic coin. Fantastic project. Novo, Sky Doge, Radiant, and Vertcoin are the top most profitable coins that you can earn today, just mining. Now, what are we talking about when it comes to profitability? So what you need to understand, ever use a solar generator? Okay, look, I got a lot to say about solar. I got a lot to say about Voscoin. I got a lot to say about mining when it comes to ROI, but that's a whole nother story. Generally, solar is a waste of money when it comes to mining. Unless you are executing properly and you have a long-term vision with a coin that you know is going to be around for more than one bull run, solar is a net loss. You will not recoup the cost of your solar energy. Let's go back to the prices. So Dynex, all these things, Novo, Dynex, Sky Doge. Look, here's what you're actually pulling in, folks. None of these coins are profitable right now. Okay, I know it's like, you don't like to hear that, right? So there's no profit in GPU mining today. That wasn't the case yesterday, and it probably won't be the case tomorrow. But today, right now, as of 11:38 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on October 6th, that's what my Casio says. My Casio's never wrong. These coins, Dynex, Novo, Sky Doge, these are the least lossy coins to mine, if I can say that. You're losing 1 cent a day, 7 cents a day, 7 cents a day, 8 cents a day if you are mining them. But don't worry about this right now because we're in the bear market, okay? Everyone's losing money when it comes to mining, unless you're mining Caspa, which we'll get into that later. Actually, shout out to the Caspa video.
Yeah.
That I did the other day.
Go check it out.
Go check it out. Can you actually pull up the link to that and post it in the chat?
Yep.
Did a quick overview of the Caspa miner that we have set up in Studio A. Most coins aren't profitable when mining. You mine during the bear to take profits during the bull. And catch them all. Catch them all. Catch them all. You are correct. That is what you should be doing. That's the mindset you need to be having. You're not selling your crypto that you're accumulating right now in the bear market. You're holding to then sell in the bull. That's what we're doing here, folks. So instead of DCA, which you would normally dollar cost average, well, you could consider mining during the bear as your ECA, your electricity cost averaging in. So what you're paying for electricity, you are basically turning that into crypto, okay, with no KYC. So these coins, yes, you're not pulling in profits. Well, you shouldn't be pulling in profits because there are no profits in the bear market, folks. But what you are doing is you are earning a third of a Dynex, 297,000 Novo, 5,686 Sky Doge, and 176.9 RDX per day on 130.80. So what you want to look at is you want to look at revenue, and you want to measure that against the tokenomics, okay? So what you want to do when you're looking at these calculations is you want to see, is the project quality? And we have a video on what a quality project is. Okay, top 5 signs. Do we do top 5 signs that a project is good or that a project is bad?
I think it was good.
Yeah.
We did the good first.
I think so.
Yeah. Find that video, Drew. Put that in there too. We did a top 5 signs that a project is good. So make sure it's a quality project. Make sure you've got the electricity to make it make sense for you. Show that comment from Clay the Great, even though it has a swear word in there.
Yeah.
Oklahoma has some cheap electric, like 17 cents kilowatt hour. That's actually not that cheap. It's cheaper than California, but yeah, here in Georgia, we have around 10 cents to 7 cents. You want to make sure that good project, that it's actually going to be around for a while, that your electricity makes it, and your setup, it makes it profitable for you to do that, and that you're mining safely, okay? Safely, not just with the wallet that you're mining to, but also with the power that you're pulling, and you're not going to start a fire. So this is the revenue. You want to look at how much revenue you're going to get. Let's do some back of the napkin math. I hate how the calculator is hidden on Mac. I just wish there was like a calculator shortcut on Windows. Windows is the superior.
We should get a Windows computer in here.
Yeah, this now that we don't need to have this Mac up here, we should absolutely have a PC. All right, so let's say you're mining 0.335 Dynex per day times, let's say you're going to mine for a year. So you have 122 Dynex. Are we seeing this math?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. 122 Dynex. We all see that, folks. Let's go to the coin perspective. This is the website you should be using at all times for all of your moon math.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of DYN, Dynex, Dynex. Let's just assume we're going to do a 20x because it has such a small market cap. Yeah, it goes to a $1.3 billion market cap. We have, what was that, 122? Yeah, so that one little GPU, if we do a 20x for Dynex, that 122 Dynex would be $2,151. And 20x's, when we're talking about bear market stuff for these proof of work coins, a 20x to a $1 billion market cap, it's extremely attainable.
Yeah.
In my opinion and the opinion of many others here. So a 20x. And look, you could go do moon math, be like, oh my God, can I pay off my house with Dynex if Dynex hits, $1,000? Well, you can do that math. I wouldn't say that's realistic, but I would say a 20x. Can you pull up the chart for Dynex,
Yeah.
Tim? Just to see like some
What's
market cap.
the ticker is
DNX.
DNX.
Yeah. So yeah, you're 130.80 just mining away. Okay. You can get up to potentially $2,151 if it was to Dynex was to 20x in the next year and a half, which I think is definitely in the cards. Here in California, it's like 65 cents a kilowatt. Yeah, that would make sense. I'm sure it varies by time of day. So here's the other thing. You can get different rates. So it's not just one flat rate on your electricity. There's a summer rate, there's a winter rate, there's a night rate, there's a weekend rate. So be strategic when you are mining. And if you have several rigs, then adjust your spend, adjust your electricity rate with your power company accordingly to maximize your gains. Nick, have you ever made a 20x in your life? Yeah, a couple times actually.
Do you even crypto, bro?
Let's see what else. Get a HP Omen. If that's a laptop, don't do that. Do not mine on a laptop at all ever. I know people can do it. I know it is possible, but I'm not going to tell anyone here to ever mine on a laptop. Just do not do it. Let's go and look at mine the ASIC. If you want to get into an ASIC, here's what is the most profitable. Well, it's Caspa right now. Caspa by a mile. Although inquiring minds should know, where is the KS0? Here it is. KS0 makes basically $1.61 a day, but there was just released, shout out to Red Panda Mining and a couple other mining YouTube channels, just released a overclock package firmware upgrade for the KS0 and I think the KS1 and the KS2 that adds, I believe, a 25% boost to your hash rate. These are expensive miners, KS2, KS1. KS0 is not expensive. That's only a 100 gigahash. How much are these now? They're so cheap now. $500. I think you can get them on eBay for less than that. So how often do you, Root says, how often do you mine? Do the ASICs run 24/7? Do you have a schedule? So in the wintertime, I run them 24/7. In the summertime, I'll have them scheduled on a timer. It's actually an actual physical like dial timer that I have my power distribution unit tied to that runs, it shuts them off in the heat of the day. So from about 1 o'clock in the afternoon to about 6 o'clock at night, they are off. But if you are in an operation that has the proper amount of airflow, you can run them 24/7 and they are made to be run 24/7. Catch them all. Nick Powers, thoughts on helium mining? Don't do it. I was mining helium HNT. I think the HNT token has a lot of upside to it, but mining it, don't do it.
Yeah.
What's that DNX chart looking like?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I'm liking this, the 4-hour chart that I'm looking at. You guys can see here, we did kind of get a little bit close to that golden pocket and around that point, value area high. But looking at our oscillators here, we are definitely seeing bullish divergence with reversals coming in here. Money flow is still slightly ticking down, but I'm looking at like this one right here. This shows you money flow, but it also shows you the trend where we're curving over. I think we're going to see a reversal in that money flow on the 4-hour as well. Move to the last one, MVP oscillator. MVP oscillator flashing green here, saying to buy. Even when you go out to the daily chart, Nick, yes, there's an overbought that came back here, but look at that. That was a lower high. So a bullish, I've said this before, I'll say it again. When you start to ignore bearish reversal calls, that tells you how strong the bullish momentum is.
Yep.
And we're setting higher highs, higher lows. Perfect. Again, bearish divergence perfectly with the higher lows, yet the oscillators are regrouping. This looks like it's making another push to a move to the upside. I'd say watch out. Like right now, price is hovering about 91 cents. Platinum pocket at $1.13. I'm liking that level as the next one to watch.
Would you say this is a healthy kind of volume? Like just overall on a length of time, would you say this is a healthy coin volume?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So and this is the kind of like, this is when TA and mining is really, really cool, because you want to be mining good projects, but you also want to be mining projects that have volume, folks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, Ravencoin. Ravencoin is a great project, has no freaking volume.
Yeah.
So don't be there mining Ravencoin like a schmuck and expecting it to moon during the next bull run, because there's just no liquidity there. But with Dynex and like Octaspace, which we're going to get into here in a second, excuse me, Flux, which we're going to get into here in a second, they have really good volume. If you can go ahead and pull up that Flux chart too, and we'll get to that in a second. But let's look at Flux. So Flux, actually, special announcement. We are going to have the CEO of Flux here on the channel, I believe, next week or the week after. And we may actually fly him in for a face-to-face interview, DZ. Daniel Keller, the CEO of Flux. So he just put on the Cypherpunk Expo down in Florida last week or a week ago. Great project. Really revolutionizing GPU mining. Firm Cypherpunk. This guy is an absolute OG when it comes to crypto. Really excited to talk to Daniel, either here live on the show or live in person. So we'll see. Special announcement. Check in next week for when we have that interview. Flux. Let's pull up Flux here on my screen here. Drew, this is Flux. This is on hash rate. So this is this basic information for Flux. Ticker is Flux. Algorithm is Zelhash. This is the network hash rate. You'll learn what this is later on. We'll get into that a little bit later. Network difficulty. This is important to just kind of keep a track of what of how healthy the network is, and daily emission of 27,000 flux. Daily emission, so $10,000 basically, and $9,000 worth of flux is put out per day. Price is 33 cents. Earnings are green for the week, as are the rewards for the week. So this is interesting how the earnings have gone up, but the rewards would have also gone up, which means the difficulty has gone down. Interesting about Flux. So Flux, you can mine on a lot of graphics cards. I don't think you have to have an 8 gigabyte or higher graphics card. I think you can do it on a 6 gig graphics card. So yeah, like a lot of price action here, price rewards versus Flux. So this red line is the price, whereas these are the rewards. And so when the red line is below the yellow line, that means you're not in profit. But when the red line goes above the yellow line, that means you're basically profitable at this point. So these are all the metrics to keep in mind. But Flux itself it was kind of this like, it's kind of getting lost in the weeds of other proof of work projects back like like 1 or 2 years ago. But it has really, over the past 18 months especially, it has come into its own with its new way of mining, proof of useful work. Flux Cloud is a people-powered network to help you build decentralized applications with increased flexibility, scalability, and censorship resistance. So it just does so much. It has cloud infrastructure. It has decentralized apps. You run nodes as well as you mine. It has the Flux cryptocurrency. It has parallel mining, and this is really, really, really cool. Cell Core multi-asset, multi-platinum wallet. It's a very, very solid wallet. And has DAOs. So this parallel mining is where it goes really, really cool. You can use multiple blockchains, so you can focus on building. So you can mine on Zelcore, but then you can get rewards in other coins that are proof of stake and not proof of work. Guys, Flux is freaking awesome. So yeah, you can merge mine these kinds of things. So if you want to get that Kadena, if you want to build up some ETH, if you want to build some Binance coin, you can do that while you're also mining Flux at the same time. It's merge mining. It's super cool. It's awesome. Flux is an incredible blockchain. Daniel's going to get into proof of useful work more during his interview, because I can't even explain it that well. He can do a much better job. It's just an incredible way for GPUs to basically share their hash rate with other types of applications, including AI, including large language models, including, I believe, on-chain network storage, and GPU compute for graphics card, like rendering graphics and stuff. So proof of useful work, super duper cool. Catch them all. Nick spitting that fire. Let me get 2 claps and a Ric Flair before you can go. I can't Ric Flair anymore. I've had acid reflux for most of my life, so my vocal cords are shot. But I'm doing it I'm screaming on the inside. I can tell you that.
That's good.
Let's look at the Flux chart real quick.
Yeah, I'm really sitting here. Do not like this chart, Nick, as much as I liked the other one. Okay. On the weekly chart, you definitely have a bottoming out pattern going here on the oscillators. So I do think that brighter days are ahead, but this is not a good looking chart to me. That's what we talked about earlier. DZ and I were talking about earlier. Flat bottom with falling tops, and then we broke below it. I'm not saying we're going to break down and create crazy new lows. And what I'm looking at, I kind of feel like unless the project died, which I don't think you think that's going to happen, I think we've bottomed out.
Yeah.
But also the fact that on the daily chart, we're moving such little volatility in price action right now, and yet we're still getting these bearish calls that are being respected. This is not a great looking chart to me. I look at the volume here. This is the 4-hour chart, but the volume is very non-existent. We talked about that in the last one. That was good volume. Here's not great volume. But the good news is it just can't get much worse than what it currently is at.
Yeah. Yeah. So as a miner who's mining in the bear market, if you're mining flux, which I am not, I actually don't hold any flux whatsoever, but that may change soon. When I'm looking at that, but I'm just seeing just the volume of development that's happening on the project. Like I get like big vibes of this is going to just absolutely explode. Where is it on the market cap?
On market
Sorry,
cap?
DZ, I'm going a little long right now. I'm good. Let's look at the market cap right now. Flux.
Bitcoin got excited. You're talking about proof of work. It's trying to bump
Yeah, I
again.
know.
Yeah, Bitcoin
So
got
look
back
at
above, touched above 28.
What's the market cap? $105 million market cap. Would you classify this as a micro cap? 105 million?
So I
Small
made
cap?
the distinction 100 and lower.
100 and lower. So we're right on the DZ
Right on the bridge.
designation
Yeah.
of a micro cap.
Oh, wait. Inflation numbers just came in. It's now up to 105.
So look, if you want those 50Xs, or dare I even say 100Xs, it's not going to happen in a top 50 or top 100 project. It's going to happen in a micro cap. Micros are 20 million and lower according to C90 FTW. Tomato. This still has a buttload of upside, especially once people start flocking to it. So there's Flux. That's your easy money minute. Get out there, get some more mining. If you want us to cover more mining here on Discover Crypto, comment. Don't do it in the chat. Comment on this video what you want us to cover. I think I'm going to bring in my Shia miner, and we'll set that up here. We are going to buy another miner for downstairs. Let's see. There's another question I want to get to. Nick, can you give a comparison to BTC pools for home mining when you get a chance one day? Give a comparison to BTC pools for home mining, like mining Bitcoin at home.
Might be talking about like the joining larger pools.
Joining
like
larger pools. I mean, it's
to...
fine to join a big pool. Yeah. It's just you got to buy the Bitcoin miner, and they're not cheap.
Yeah.
What's the cheapest profitable Bitcoin miner? Which profitable in a bear market doesn't make any sense. You're just looking at the health of the project, really. Let's see. Just search by Bitcoin. Oh, it falls off fast. Okay. Yeah. So here's the other thing with Bitcoin miners. These boys are hungry. They like to eat. Okay. They're thick. They like a lot of power. This is 5,000 watts.
Oh, God.
Okay. This is a lot of watts.
That's a little bit of juice.
Yeah. A little bit of juice. You would need, I'm trying to do the electricity math. You would need a 30 amp circuit with 220 volt dedicated to this one miner. Dedicated to that one miner. Nothing else could be plugged in, otherwise it would catch fire or it would trip a breaker. Let's see. So now we're down to like you're losing 75 cents a day. Let's this one, the S3. Oh, it's Digibyte. Stop doing that, Digibyte. Get out of here. 80 cents a day. You're losing, you're spending. So you're just DCAing your electricity bill into Bitcoin. That's what you can think of this. This is so the What's miner, if you can grab, this is actually great. The S17 Pro. This one right here. This, if I'm going to buy a Bitcoin miner and I want to mine Bitcoin and I'm okay with spending $1.60 a day to mine some Bitcoin, 50 terahash Bitcoin, the Bitmain Antminer S17 Pro pulls less than 2,000 watts. This means it's way more manageable. And you're getting about, 1/10,000th of a Bitcoin per day. That's fine. You're getting Bitcoin. You're getting it non-KYC. And you're supporting the network. You can put it in your home. It can heat your home. But yeah, you'll need to be very judicious with how you get this plugged into your house. That's all I got for easy money. Drop below, comment below on what you want us to cover here on Discover Crypto. Back to DZ. Take us home, baby.
Take me home.
Country roads.
X minute.
To the place.
Fallout 76. That's true. They did.
Also, that song's about Western Virginia, not West Virginia. Sorry to break your guys' hearts.
Bring on some mining YouTubers in the future. Okay, yeah, that'd be pretty cool too. Maybe a little segment. Y'all can bounce off each other, share some screens, something like that. That would be pretty cool. Lopez, sorry I made a bad comment about George Lopez's show. You're taking it to heart, but Lopez, hit that like button anyways. You know you want to. All right, let's go to the X minute here. All right, first let me hit refresh. Just make sure I have everything on the up and the date to date here. All right, BAI, they're doing a lot of good work with us over here at Vimeo. So I'll be jumping into spaces with them next week here. Neon Jesus gave us a little love, so I just want to show Neon Jesus a little love back. We showed one of his tweets the other day, made a little clip about it. All right, let's get into the likes now. All right, one, I feel like there's just been a lot of misreporting. They just haven't really been honestly reporting what's happening with over there. So out of 100 soldiers, it looks like 80 to 90 are gone in this one section here. And if you recognize that flag, I don't even want to say it just in case it would demonetize us or we might lose a little signal here. So the rest, dead, wounded, or incapacitated. So not great there. So what you're seeing reported is not the reality, folks. And the reality is people are losing their lives. And it's a very serious thing and I'm very anti-war. And just the whole pro-war euphoria is making me very uncomfortable. It reminds me of 2003 when the same thing happened with Iraq. And it's just like, I feel like I'm in 1984 when you're like, oh yeah, all these people said, 2 + 2 = 5. And you're like, people are smarter than that. And I feel like I'm walking around everyone saying 2 + 2 = 5. There's been also, I know I'm team Vivek. He's pro Bitcoin is one of the reasons I like talking about him here. He had someone, the police department, there's a protester. They say, look, man, this guy hit our car, They're saying, well, the police department refuted his claim. The protester did not intentionally hit his car. Our investigation revealed no evidence to substantiate that information. Oh, wait, there's like footage and stuff. So here's the protester flicking us off, laying on the horn, yelling F you, among other profanities, before reverse ramming their cars into ours. Police never contacted us for our statement. So, yeah. Damn that pesky video evidence.
That doesn't matter anymore. It's mostly peaceful.
Here's the thing. You're right. That does not matter anymore. People are going to run with that police headline. I'm sure it's probably already trending on Reddit. They're going to say, this guy, this slick guy who thinks he's, everything he's saying is too good to be true. He's full of crap. Here he got caught in another lie. You're like, well, what are the other ones? And it's all fake. So add that to that debunk page that he has there. This is hilarious, folks. Cardano fans. Charles Hoskinson said, this is not a picture of me.
Really?
CCN.com news. Cardano founder called Ethereum a dumpster fire.
It's not Charles.
It's AI.
Yeah, look at his hand. That finger blends into that finger.
Oh my God.
That's a Chinese finger trap.
That's not a picture of me. I just thought that was pretty funny. That one deserved a like. Guys, the guy knows does just simple, effective message there. This guy went on a Megal with his Bored Ape filter. I have a Mutant Ape filter from the filter team. I might do the same. That might be a fun little video.
Yeah.
Here's a life hack. Sometimes I do Dan Fit or Dan Go for fitness stuff. Here's another life hack. If you can find a hobby, some form of exercise as a hobby and read books, you will literally not fail. It's impossible. Eventually all click. You're in a groove. Might be fast, might take decades. 100% success rate. And here's the coolest pick they've made with Dolly 3 so far. Still trying to perfect the prompt. Once it's done, he'll share it. Pretty cool right there, though. I would say that's a pretty intense prompt right there. So really good job with the Dolly stuff. This might be the smartest thing I've seen all year. All right, so you get your instant potatoes. We can share it now. Show your instant potatoes. You got a water bottle. It is kind of a pain stirring it in the thing, especially you got like a non-stick Teflon. You don't want to use metal. All right, well, wait a minute. We're going to introduce a water bottle.
Okay.
Sorry, I did that to you guys. Here's a thread on Justin Sun around Huobi. Pretty long. I might make some short form content out of this. So pretty deep dive. Too long to do right here. We're already running a little bit long. So let me know if you want some Tron breakdown stuff. I'll read the comments after the show and see what you guys say. So we want to finish they're not calling it the wall, Nick, Drew. Where are they calling it, Tim? Do you remember?
The what?
They're not calling it the wall.
They got south of the border.
Yeah, they're calling it something. What was it?
A
the fence, the barrier.
Right. It's like a barrier. Well, they're erecting a barrier.
Okay,
it's not a wall. Well, they sold off $150 million worth of, I believe, steel. They sold off $150 million worth. What they get for it? $2 million.
Oh,
which will they need to purchase again?
It gets worse. Hold on. It wasn't $154 million worth. it was $300 million worth of material, and steel prices have increased since they originally
Who'd they
purchased it.
sell
So
it
it should have
to?
gone up. Well, I think they're talking about this particular section was sold for 2 million. Maybe are you saying all 300 million was sold for 2 million? Or
Yes.
wow, pretty interesting.
What are the odds though that it was done by a private owner who's going to go and put up that barrier himself?
What are the odds it's a cousin, a nephew, or brother-in-law of a politician whose company got the sweetheart deal?
More than likely.
Well, it's
yes.
private contractors that work. And also, it was already under construction before Trump took office. So there's that.
All right. Time delays per. Do the delays move up? What's our time delay per thing between messages?
Like-
We can look into that. People
Is
are
it
saying,
20
I want to type
seconds?
more quickly.
It's 20 seconds.
It's
That's why we
20
do
seconds,
Twitch.
Oh,
yeah.
20 seconds.
Yeah.
Deal with 20 seconds, folks.
Yeah. That's why we
If
do
it messes up your punchline, do ... punchline. That'll
Well,
work
and
too.
that's a funny story. That's where the basement came from, right? Because people wanted to punch their retorts in immediately. That's why we started on Twitch. We're not on there anymore, but we'll try to figure something out.
All right, Pokemon box sounds cool. Sounds cool. Yeah, physical barrier. Okay, physical barrier. So, if he built a wall, wouldn't that be ironic? I think they are, right? I think they are. They're doing 20 miles. Only 20 miles. All right, guys. There's a Nike NFT dropping soon, so you got to have .swoosh, and this is breaking. You got 10 days. You got 10 days. It drops on the 20th. I think Taco's making a short about this, so check out a short from NFT Alpha. Another great tweet thread by NFT God, and I'll end with this one here. Proven playbook, 20 post daily, reply like a MFer, give no expectation anything in return. Don't be boring, quality over quantity. Use the mute button like your life depended on it. Make actual friends. Say something that pisses people off. Say it again. Subscribe to people. Speak on spaces, long form, and don't eat too much dark chocolate in France. You get a tummy ache. I feel like the last one's specific to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't relate to that.
It felt a little personal there.
Yeah. Well, I like dark chocolate, so I will eat till I have a tummy ache if I'm ever there. I don't know if I'll ever go to France.
No.
It's gone
Not
to
me.
hell, right?
No.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I'll go to the no-go zones and just see how it goes. We should do a video of the no-go zone, see how it goes.
Wait, you talking about the doll where I had to point at with the therapist?
No, I'm talking about entire sections of France that the police aren't allowed to go into at this point because they can't
Oh,
go.
okay. Well, yeah, if we went, we would have to go to that, right?
Yeah.
Are we bringing machetes?
Let's just break some trees.
Because we want to do landscaping work, y'all.
Yeah.
I really like JB Mowing, the video,
Okay.
the content creator. So me and Drew would go out there and just do some landscaping. He would work on their fences a little bit. That is why we would have
Their
those.
barriers. Their barriers.
Yeah,
No
we gotta
walls or
cut
fences
through.
or- yeah.
The vines, y'all. The vines is what we got to cut through there. All right, guys. I think we had a great show today. We're going into the weekend with a bang. We had a great time with easy money. It was a great segment. If people like having, essentially, my main just championing feature of mining, it's non-traceable crypto. There's no fiat paper trail. If you like crypto without a fiat paper trail, highly recommend mining, but then you got to worry about VPNs and all that type of stuff. So then it reaches a level above my pay grade there. So appreciate it. All right, guys, we had a great show. It was an awesome show. Thank you for joining. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already. We had any messages into the weekend.
Yeah, go touch some grass, hug a person, hopefully your family and your friends. And crypto will be back on Monday.
All right, that's all we got. Until then, DZ out. Have a great weekend, folks. Pet your dogs. Pet your cats. Eat a pumpkin.
Pumpkin pie.
Blood alone moves the wheels of history.